5 rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We are back for another edition. You already know what it is, man. It's the 50-50 show.
You didn't know?
50-50.
Welcome to the 50-50 show with PharoahNFL and the Severe Raider, the realest show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Y'all already know what it is, man. Hey, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, man. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. Hey, man, it's the late night edition. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the 50-50 show, man. What's good, Severe? What's going on, man? Man, salute to the chat. Salute to the night crew, man. That's how we say it on this channel, man. Salute to the night crew. Everybody pulling up. We see y'all. Man, hey, man, we got a lot to talk about, man. It's pretty much, hey, it's that time of the year, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, man. And
Definitely.
After the first preseason game against the Vikings, finally, we get some Raider football. And there were some interesting things that we seen, and I'm sure everybody was able to see as well if y'all watched the game. And, you know, hopefully no one got too high, no one got too low. It's that first preseason game, so we'll get into it in a little bit. Before we do that, Severe, what's going on, man? How you been?
Oh, man, I've been good, man. Hey, glad to finally have some actual football to talk about, man. Some football on our screens. We got to see our boys play, and it's a lot to talk about. As you said, there is a lot to talk about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, SoCal Sal in the building. He says, you ain't lying. Oh, man, I guess they're already talking smack right now. Hey, the show has started, man. Just know that, man. Huey P, man, appreciate you coming through. SVT in the building. Says Bill Belichick just had a great interview with Pat McAfee talking about preseason and what it's actually being evaluated. I wouldn't worry about our DBs. Okay. I got to check that out, man. Appreciate that, man. We gonna check that out for sure. Were you able to see that, Severe?
Nah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all, man.
DC in the building, man. Hey, I'm just gonna call you DC, man, because I can't say the full name. I just can't
Facts.
do it. We gonna call you DC. Can I have a shout out now? DC. That's the shout out, bro. That's the shout out. DC. Oh man, none other, man. Y'all already know, man. Hey, he knows how to start the show off right, man. Raiders smoke, man. What's going on, man? Appreciate the super chat. He says death, taxes, and you guys pump finger on start time. All love though. Our rookie DBs look cheeks. Let's talk about it. Make sure to like and subscribe, man. Appreciate that. Yes, sir. Yeah, make sure y'all ain't subscribed yet. Go ahead and do so. We are going live on both our channels, so you want to make sure you head over and subscribe to both channels as well as like the video, so we can keep coming back and doing this, man. So we appreciate the support. That being said, Mark, man, appreciate you coming through. You said third like. Oh man, hey, damn, man, came through and supported early.
Appreciate you.
Let's go. My guy, Chris, man, Protect the Shield, man. What's good, fellas, man? Appreciate you coming through. If y'all haven't subscribed, go over there, head over to his channel, subscribe to his channel. One of the hardest working guys out there, man. Putting out content left and right. Man. Let's see where we go. What we got, man? We got, man, people pulling up left and right. The king of mods is in the building. Daniel Kim says, yes, sir. It's about that time. Late night crew, stand up. Yes, sir. Austin Avila in the building. He says, hey, salute to them boys. I was listening to y'all live while I was moving from the Bay to SD. Swear also you moved to San Diego. That's at least it's Raider territory. At least
exactly. It's still Raider territory. Still.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? So, oh man, that's crazy. Oh man, another one.
I'll be out there this weekend.
You gonna be out there this weekend? Okay, all right. It might be nice out there, man. San Diego's always nice with the weather.
My son has a scrimmage this weekend out there, man. So I'll be out there.
Okay. Oh shit. Hey, you might run into Austin, man. Hey, shit, y'all might have to link up, man.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So, hey, look, let's not wait. Hey, Raph in the building. Salute, Nation. Appreciate you coming through, man. We got everybody pulling up today, man. Oh man, we got a lot to talk about. But let's get into the aftermath, man. So let's look at what happened against the Vikings, and what was your first initial reaction to the game against the Vikings on Saturday?
It's real vanilla. I mean, real vanilla on both sides of the ball. If you listen to what some of the reports were out of camp, some of the things they were doing, you can tell that Getty or AP didn't want to put too much out there on the table. We already know how Patrick Graham is. They call him the mad scientist. He's in the lab, dialing stuff up, but really didn't do too much of anything. Very little Max, very little Christian Wilkins. I think they each only got a series. So, it was preseason football, man. But, yet and still, it was just good to have some Raiders football on the TV screen.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, I agree that it is vanilla, but you still can take what you can take from it, because at the end of the day, like, it's about like beating the man in front of you. That's what it really is about. Like when you talk about preseason football, as far as like, are they going to be scheming? No, they're not going to be doing that. But I did see Brian Baldninger. Shout out to him, man. He always likes to break down Max Crosby tape, and he was like, "Hey, I know that they don't really scheme and game plan in preseason, but he showed a specific play with Max Crosby getting to the quarterback, and literally 5 dudes was blocking him. Like you had the tackle, then you had the running back chip him, and then you had the guard come in and help. Like, it was crazy. So, like, it's preseason football, and the NFL is aware of who Max Crosby is, and that's a good sign, man. That's respect. That's definitely respect.
100%.
Respect for their quarterback's health, because they didn't want Max Crosby to take out their quarterback this early in the season, preseason. So, respect to Max Crosby, man. That was nice to see. But yeah, man. But like I said, it's really about like being the man in front of you. I was and that being said, I was kind of disappointed in the defensive line. Like, I didn't see the pressure that I seen certain glimpses of it here and there, but it wasn't as dominant as I was going to think that I was going to see early on. And I'll say that. And also we could talk about that run defense. Is definitely a work in progress, to the point where, like, do we got to look at who gets cut here in the preseason, and then we got to pick up somebody, you know what I mean, that can stop the run. But it's early in the preseason. This is what preseason's for, is to clean up those mistakes before the season starts. So I wasn't really too hard on the defense like that, and even the offense, like the quarterbacks, and we'll get into the quarterbacks in just a little bit. But even the offense, like you just said, it's vanilla. Like, they're gonna be seeing the same defense over and over again. Yeah. And you see what I'm saying? So it's like, man, you just got to take what you can take. But I really, like, just thinking about the defensive line. That was like probably the biggest disappointment that I seen. The defensive line, receiver stepped up. Trey Tucker, man, he showed out.
Yeah, he ain't going to the ball, man. He ain't going to the ball.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like my biggest takeaway was, I was paying attention to the defense. Offensively, I like that I seen that both quarterbacks came in and they were able to run the offense and get some points on the board. When I say both quarterbacks, the two quarterbacks that are battling out, not Anthony Brown Jr. Some people were calling for his name, man. And people were like, "Hey, man, this guy needs to get a shot." But
he got a shot, man. Yeah, he got a shot.
Yeah, it is what it is. But like, what were your who are your standouts, or guys that you felt like stood out, guys that you took maybe a step backwards?
So in terms of standout, I think Devon Diablo, I think he was in on the first two tackles. He was actually giving chase on JJ McCarthy when he threw that interception. So I think, he was definitely a standout. Ja'Cory Bennett, was really good in coverage. He had that PBU in the end zone. I think that is a very positive development, because if we can solidify the other cornerback spot, I think we're in very, very prime position. And then Amari Burney is a guy that impressed out there as well, man. I think he looked really good, moved great, had some really nice plays in there as well, man. So, I think he did his thing.
Hey, all eyes on G, man. Hey, you right, bro. Baldy. So I just kept it at Baldy. Yeah, I should have kept it on Baldy.
You probably should have kept it at Baldy for sure, man.
Hey, no one said pause though. No one said pause. That's hilarious. All eyes. That's funny. But okay. So you had Devon Diablo is a guy that stood out, and that's a guy that Marvin Lewis kind of early on was like, hey, this is a guy that we got to watch out for. Him, Adam Butler was a guy, but as far as the preseason game, I thought Trey Tucker kind of stood out. Zamir White, didn't look sexy, but he got the job done. You know what I mean? He got like 4 or 5 yards. I mean, it didn't look amazing out there, but I'm trying to think. Trayvon Moorick, I thought he was in on a few tackles. He was all over the place. Secondary looked pretty solid. I'll say the starters,
the first team, yeah.
Yeah, you could see it's hard to judge a secondary in preseason when they're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. And it's like they're not going to really be changing anything up. So I can't really say, but I will say this: Jack Jones looks the part. Jack Jones, He transferred whatever he was doing in training camp as far as forcing turnovers. That's another guy that stood out, got his interception, took advantage of that pass that was a little behind the receiver from J.J. McCarthy, and he was able to get that interception, showed off his hands. Probably why they got him playing on offense in training camp.
Yeah.
Maybe see if they can use him a little bit, but yeah, those are some of the guys that kind of stood out. Guys that didn't stand out. Tyree Wilson, man, it just you forget that he's out there.
Yeah, man. He's a big dude too, man. Like you see him walk up to the line, you thinking like this dude is about to wreck shop, and then he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
He does not do anything, man. So it was all bad for him. I really didn't see a lot from I think Chris Smith. Definitely Chris Smith, man. He could be on the chopping block, man. He can be on the chopping block for real. Sam Webb got beat, like had his eyes in the backfield, and that was on him. According to AP, that was on man coverage, so he didn't have good eye discipline there. We got beat deep, and then MJ Devonshire got beat deep as well. He's a rookie, so he might get a little bit of a pass, but Sam Webb, he's been in the league now for like 3-4 years, so there's no excuse there. So I think he looked terrible. But I think the chief concern among those is, as you mentioned, Tyree, because he was first-round pick last year. We expected him to take this next step this year. We've been hearing everybody, singing his praises, but it didn't come to fruition on the field.
Raider Smoke says, to be fair, Anthony Brown line decided to take the night off. Yeah, the offensive line did. But he also held the ball a little bit longer than you should on a few plays where he took some sacks. But yeah, the offensive line depth kind of showed. DJ Glaze did give up a sack, I believe. I think he did give up a sack where guys beat him inside.
That sack, yeah, against that dude from Air Force.
So, so much for the battle at right tackle. So you can see that maybe Thayer Munford's probably going to hold down that spot. From what we were hearing from training camp, it seemed like, they're trying him out on first team. There seemed like there might be something there, but, not to say that he doesn't have any potential. It's maybe early on Thayer Munford is probably going to hold down that starting tackle spot. And then, Glaze, as he develops, will have a chance to see if he could be that guy. But yeah, those are the biggest guys that I can think that like. I thought special teams was a mixed bag. There were some nice returns later on in the game, and they did have a block on special teams as well.
Yeah.
We learned real quickly that the league is going to penalize the kicker if they don't kick in the zone.
The
landing zone. So we were able to see that for the first time. I don't know if that has happened yet, but at least like we were able to see that as watching the game. We're able to see that to get penalized. That's another reason why teams are getting penalized. So that's going to be tough in an adjustment period too. But yeah, man, it's like I said, preseason is kind of like there's a different. You can't evaluate it like a regular game.
Yeah.
You just can't. You just got to see like, all right, what did they do when the plays were there? Were they able to take advantage of plays? Were they able to beat the guy in front of them? Those are kind of the things that you got to look at. And should we just get into the QBs?
We can get into it, man. We can get into it. This what the people came for.
This is what people, they're like, hey, why do y'all not talking about the QBs, man? We don't care about.
People came for.
Yeah, Tyree. I forgot he was there. It is what it is. Okay, all right, I got you, man. DC, I got you, man. Pause. I got you. Both backup DNs look terrible. Yeah, man. Hey, and that's another thing too. I guess we'll talk about it later in the show. I guess that's going to be something that we're going to talk about as far as depth and who we possibly can pick up. But let's talk about Aidan O'Connell and Gardner Minshew and their debut as Raiders, as this Raider starting battle continues. First preseason game. AOC got the start. Like I said AOC's going to get the start, and he did.
Yeah, you and Big Mike said it.
Yeah. But, at the end of the day, it might not mean nothing. It's at the end of they're going to, it's the battle's still ongoing. But yeah. I like what I seen from AOC. You know what I mean? overall, I thought both quarterbacks didn't really separate themselves. Like, obviously, Minshew was able to get some touchdowns, which is huge. But they both kind of showed their strengths, their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And we still don't have a definite, answer at that starting quarterback spot. I think it's probably going to take until this game, and whoever makes the most mistakes. Because what I'm hearing, I think I seen somewhere that, I don't know who reported this. I don't know if it's an official report, but they're saying that after this second preseason game, the Raiders are probably going to announce the starting quarterback spot. So,
well, we talked about that timeline previous, because generally you don't want your starter playing that third preseason game anyway. So that's something we kind of speculated before. But after the game, AP kind of speculated, essentially insinuated the same thing, that he'd rather he'd rather have his starter named after the second game, which makes sense, right? You don't we treat that third preseason game like you should treat that fourth one, and that fourth one was generally the one where all the young guys, they played the entire game. That the third one is usually the dress rehearsal. We're in a little bit of a different situation, because our dress rehearsal is going to be this second game, but we still in the midst of a QB competition. And from what I'm hearing and what's being reported is that Gardner Minshew is going to be the guy that starts the second game. So they decided to come out with Aidan O'Connell starting that first game, and then Gardner Minshew is going to start the second game. I wouldn't read too much into it. If this was in the past and he was starting the third game, that's basically saying he's going to be the starter. But since we're in the middle of this competition, I don't think we can read too much into who's starting the second game.
Yeah. Hey, Smoke, I agree. I like AOC stepping in the pocket. I like his pocket presence. Like he like it. There's a little bit of look. AOC's not gonna be that mobile guy that we want at the quarterback position. We know that this is not something that this is not debatable. But I did like his pocket presence. I did like him stepping up in the pocket and making some tough throws, pretty much going through his reads, and then be able to hit some backside throws and getting some first downs. Able to go, I don't know how many yards down that first drive, like at least 90 yards plus from where they
90 yards plus. Something like that.
Yeah, it was a pretty long drive, and able to drive down all the way to the red zone. It stalled out, but not if you watch. I believe that third down where he got sacked. If you watch that play, literally the receivers ran into each other. Like, it was just weird. Like, no one was open, and you could tell, like, obviously I think, was it DJ Glaze that got beat for a sack? Or Andres
Pete.
The left tackle got beat. So it was like a lot of things went wrong. You got the tackle getting beat, and then on top of that, no one is getting open, or I don't know if there was receivers running into each other. They ran the wrong route. It was just a weird play. It was just done to begin with. So I think AOC kind of showed well. You would like for it to end in a touchdown, and I would like for him to get a little more PT, but the way it kind of shook out, I think in their minds, they were like, you know what? That first quarter is AOC, and as soon as that first quarter ended, that's when Minshew got the ball, and it just happened that to be where, AOC just got one drive. Everybody was like, oh, why didn't AOC get more reps? But I think they just had it like written down that, okay, he's going to get that first quarter, Minshew's going to get that second quarter. But Minshew ended up getting like, I don't know how many drives. I felt like he got the ball back a few times. Minshew on
4 times, I want to say. I believe he had 4 drives, I think.
Yeah. So Minshew was able to go down and get a touchdown. But
got 2.
Got 2 touchdowns. And he was able to hit on some big plays. But you also seen so I forgot to mention this. And there's some throws, and I mentioned this with to begin with. I said there are plays where they show their strengths and they show their weaknesses. And I felt like I also Minshew was able to get some points, but you can also see where, like, he could have stood in the pocket a little bit longer on certain plays, maybe hung in there, maybe gave up a little bit. There might have been a play here where he could have made. But that being said, I thought the fact that he was able to get some touchdowns, that's a plus. And hey, look, I can't get mad at that. I felt like a lot of people were ready to give Minshew the starting job just because of the touchdown, but people were not giving AOC any credit because I felt like that was a good solid first drive in my opinion.
Yeah, no, but I completely agree.
He just needed more time. He just needed more time so then we could see a little bit more.
The issue with AOC is that, so we're just talking about Gardner, right? For first, I'll start with Gardner. Gardner had two things, going on. He did bail sometimes. He didn't navigate the pocket efficiently sometimes. There were times where he needed to bail, but I think that there were opportunities for him to just drift in the pocket, and if he would have just drifted instead of bailing from the pocket, he would have had opportunities to make some throws downfield where I saw that, hey, you know what? Don't completely abandon the pocket. Just drift, keep your eyes downfield, make a throw. And then he also had the procedural penalty, right? Like that's something we don't want to have. He had that delay a game. That's unacceptable. You can't be having to delay a game, especially in the preseason. So hopefully that's not something that carries into the regular season, because I don't think he's known as a guy that is that's penalty prone, and that's not good in terms of the procedural stuff like that. He's usually pretty good about that stuff. And we heard early in camp he was the guy that had the grasp of the offense sooner, was getting guys in and out of checks, making audibles at the line of scrimmage. So hopefully that's not an issue. In terms of Aidan O'Connell, just his lack of mobility is it stands out. It stands out drastically. Like even on that Andres Pete play, right? Like you got to be able to get out of there and buy yourself time and at least dirt that ball. Luckily we're in field goal range, but had we been on the edge of field goal range and you take a sack there, like that's unacceptable. And then there was just we'll get into it later, but like in this in the league, you can't only be able to throw the ball with your feet set. Like there's going to be times when you have to throw in the move, and that's not something it looks like he can do with any type of consistency. He can do it some plays, other plays he can't do it. And we talk about his first drive. While I find it was an efficient drive, you got to be able to get chunk plays. You got to be able to, hey, I'm delivering a throw downfield. This is 25, 30 yards right here, right? And it didn't look like he was doing that. And it looked like Gardner Minshew was doing that. And maybe that was a product of the play calls, or it could just be a product of, hey, you know what? I'm an aggressive guy. I'm forcing the ball downfield, while Aidan O'Connell he's perfectly happy, nickeling and diming up the field and doing that type of thing.
Maybe that wasn't available to him. I mean, maybe that big play wasn't available to him to make. But he was able to drive the team down all the way down. Like I said, 90 plus yard. That's not something easy to do. And he was accurate. You've seen the arm strength. I will say that another thing too, you can see the difference in arm strength between
not at all, bro.
Yeah.
Not at all. Negligible difference, bro. Negligible. You trying to tell me you saw arm strength on what throw? What throw did you see the arm strength from Aidan O'Connell?
Just overall. I'm speaking overall.
I mean, what throw?
You want a specific throw? You want a specific throw?
He was. Where did he push the ball downfield?
Okay. I was gonna wait to talk about it.
Where did he drive the ball into a tight window?
Well, but I'm talking about Minshew. I'm talking about Minshew and watching him play. And when I watch him play, and then he rolled out to the right, he threw a floater to Bryant and put him in harm's way. Like, you're not that quarterback, dude. Like, throw the ball away or hit the receiver early.
But he also hit Tucker down the sideline for a nice throw. Also on the rollout, he hit DJ Turner for a touchdown. He scored. He also hit another hole shot, which was a great throw, rolling, between, floated perfectly in between defenders. Where did Aidan O'Connell at any point make a throw with that level of difficulty? He didn't.
my concern with Minshew is that if that style, can he win consistently with that style of play, where he's leaving the pocket early, where he's just throwing the ball up for grabs. Like, I want it to work.
Where did he throw the ball up for grabs? That was one play. He should have dirted that ball, but that's one play. But he also had 3 more plays where he showed, hey, I can get out of here, or I can stand in the pocket. I can deliver the ball downfield and get chunk yardage. Where did Aidan O'Connell do anything like that at all? You're not going to be able to just nickel and dime in this league because, first of all, this is preseason. So
right.
All that stuff is right there. That stuff is going to be available to you. That underneath stuff,
right.
They're going to be perfectly happy sitting back in this little zone or whatever they're going to play, or this soft man coverage, and they're going to let you do this kind of stuff. That stuff not going to fly in the regular season. They're going to start putting hats on dude, and when you have a blitz coming at you, what is Aidan O'Connell going to do in that situation? Roll out to the right and throw like this arm strength. He hopped a throw, rolling out. Like, that's not arm strength right there. Like, if you had true arm strength, you deliver that pass, that's a first down.
I'm not saying that though. I'm not saying that though. I'm not saying that he has true arm strength. I think he has better arm strength than Minshew.
It's
that's
negligible
what I'm saying.
though. It's negligible. His difference in arm strength is not going to make that much difference in the game. Is he have stronger? That's like me, you saying, okay, I have more range than you on the 3-pointer. But if I can hit a 3-pointer, that's all that matters. It don't matter if I can shoot from half court or not. If I can hit a 3, I can hit a 3.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, like, it's probably not going to show up in a preseason game where they're playing the same defense over and over again. But when you start playing like defenses they're going to game plan against you, that's where it's going to show up. They're going to start testing you and seeing if a guy like Minshew, that's kind of one of his biggest weaknesses going in, is that that like he's not going to be the guy that's going to threaten the defense deep. So. And
but he
arm
did.
strength is,
but that's he did.
But that's not going to work. That's not
and
going to work though.
Didn't. And Aidan O'Connell did. That's the difference. We can talk
don't
about
say don't. But you can't look. You can't compare 4 drives to 1. You talking about 4 drives to 1.
He did it on the first drive. He did it. Gardner did it on his very first drive.
So you thought Minshew had a better game than?
Yes, he had a better game.
I thought it was close. I thought it was close.
It was close.
I thought it was close.
It was close. It's not human. Like, I was impressed with Aidan O'Connell's first drive. Very efficient. He got the ball downfield, got the ball in playmakers' hands. Now he also got the benefit of he threw some screen passes out there, and some guys were able to do some stuff. But he distributed the ball to his playmakers as he should. But like I said, the issue we've had in the past, and the issue that even Devontae spoke about in the past, is that you're not going to be able to win consistently just nickel unless you have Tom Brady or like Peyton Manning or Drew Brees. You're not going to be able to just nickel and dime your way up the field all the time. You need chunk plays. Gardner Minshew on his very first drive out there showed I can provide that. In the very first drive, he's out there delivering big plays. And then also, what has been this team's Achilles heel? You spoke about it previously as well, right? Our ability to execute in the red zone.
Okay.
One guy got into the red zone and scored. One guy got into the red zone and didn't.
Right. Hold on 1 second before I respond. Raider Smoke, man, appreciate the super chat, man. He said, I like what I saw from both QBs, but I did like Minshew mobility. That touchdown pounds of Turner was nice. I don't think AOC makes that throw under pressure. Yeah, you may be right. You may be right, but does Minshew stay in the pocket and win consistently there? That's the question. Is he as accurate as AOC? I don't think so. I don't think so. But hey, look, hey man, this is a good debate to have, man. It's close. It's close. At the end of the day, Minshew, you can't argue the results. He did get some touchdown drives. I think he was able to put 20 points at first, like that first half. 20 points.
Yeah, 20 points.
Yeah, so you could say that he led 2 touchdown drives, and I think after they got that blocked field goal, he was able to get that short field, get a couple first downs, and then got into field goal range, and then But at the end of the day, he was able to put 20 points on, and you can't get mad at that. Or 17 points. 3 to points. We're gonna give AOC the 3 points, man. We can hate on AOC, man. But hey, appreciate this. Yeah, no, for sure. Raider Smoke, man, appreciate the super chat. But let's see what the people think. I think I posted a let's see here. The other day, I post after the game. I posted a poll asking where Raider Nation thought the QB battle was at right now. Who do they think that was going to start after preseason week game? Obviously, it hasn't been decided. It's not going to be decided probably until maybe after next week, from what we're hearing. But let's see where Raider Nation is at right now. Let's see if I could put this on the screen. Let's see. Let's see. All right. If y'all could see it, let's move this out the way. Let's move it out the way. See. Let's see. Hold up. So if y'all could see it on the screen right now, it says after, let's see if I could make this a little bigger so y'all can see. So what it says here, after the first preseason game against the Vikings, who's the favorite to win the Raiders starting QB spot? Is it AOC? Minshew Mania? Looks like Raider Nation right now feels that like 53% got Minshew winning this quarterback spot after week 1 of preseason. So 47% go to AOC. I'm still with AOC right now. I'm still like, hey, look, like we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because
I'm
at the end of the
Gardner
day,
I will say this about the poll. It's not fair to AOC just because Gardner Minshew got more opportunities and he also got those touchdowns. So that's going to skew the poll a little bit toward Gardner. So, I think that Gardner is in the lead right now. I think he outplayed Aidan O'Connell slightly. But I can understand if some people want to say Aidan O'Connell outplayed him slightly. Anybody that says it's a total wash in either direction, you're just a homer or you don't know the game. Like it was close. It was close.
It was close.
I feel that just Gardner driving the ball downfield gave him the edge. Also executing in the red zone, that's something you take note of. But Aidan O'Connell was very efficient with the football in this drive as well. So I mean, you can go either way. But I just I just lean toward a guy that's going to be a little bit more aggressive. Well, I feel and I feel that in this league you need some chunk plays.
Let's get into the chat. Austin Villa says, I agree, Pharaoh. He was efficient. Yeah, he was. He was able to drive the team down the field. It's just he just got one drive, and you see, and what made everybody kind of think Minshew is a guy. Hey, there might be a chance he might be the guy. He's able to, his first drive was a touchdown, and then he was able to get another drive and then get another touchdown. I think Zamir White was able to get it from the one or right there at the goal line, and then obviously he got another 3 points to finish with 17 points in the first half when he was out there. So, we'll see, man. Hey, AOC got to go out there and prove it. Hopefully he'll get more opportunities than one drive. But we'll see, man. So Minshew's gonna get that first. He's gonna get that start from what it sounds like. Let's see. Raider Way says AOC reminds me of Jaden Daniels. Too soon, Severe.
Well, like AOC is the opposite of Jaden Daniels in every conceivable way.
Come on, man. Come on. Nah. He's trolling now. He's trolling. Come on. Come on, man. That deserves one of these, man. I think this it deserves one of those, man. Right. But Mark wants he got a friendly reminder, man. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. As we like to say it on this channel, clock in. Make sure to clock in, man. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. But let's see what people are saying right now. Cool Kev, man. He's Minshew mania. Minshew got the touch on his throws and the experience.
I mean that throw he made to the I don't remember who it was to on the right side of the field where was that to DJ Turner?
DJ Turner. That was a great throw. That was
an excellent throw. Like this showed touch, a little bit of arm strength. Like that's the kind of stuff you got to be able to do.
Yeah. DJ Turner like literally beat that dude.
Turner looked good, man. Yeah, Turner looked
right off the line of scrimmage. Like he was, whoever was guarding him was like,
yeah,
man. And that's good to see for him because, like we said, like preseason's really not about like you just got to see. It's really about being the man in front of you. You know what I mean? And you can evaluate that way. And DJ Turner went out there and he got open. He was able to get a touchdown pass and make it translate too. Because we heard about him in training camp making plays, but no one really talked about it like that. And even you mentioned, does Turner kind of, get that third spot? Is Trey Tucker and Turner, are they battling? Is that a battle that no one's really talking about? But Trey Tucker though came out and he made some plays too. So yes. he held it down as well. Yeah, DC, you got to give context for AOC. Yeah, he had an efficient first drive. He was able to march the team downfield, made some nice throws, was able to survey the entire what I liked about AOC, it wasn't like he was looking at one read and that's where he was going. Like he looked at the entire field and was able to hit some. He hit some guys on like his like fifth. I'm exaggerating, but like his fourth option.
I don't know that.
Because you don't think so?
He would go through his progressions, but I don't think he was getting to like his. I don't think he was going to like his third or fourth read. A lot of times it was first, second read. Most of the time, like he was throwing like quick slants and throwing wide receiver screens and stuff like that. Which he was getting the ball downfield, but like what he did was if he would get in trouble, he looked for Jacoby. Like if it was like I don't get nobody open, I'm gonna find Jacoby.
Hey, and that pass to Jacoby was nice too. I'm not gonna lie. When he stepped up and hit Jacoby, that was super nice.
It was a great throw and great location.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look here, man. Austin Avila says, yeah, Gardner was bailing a little too early out the back of the pocket. Bro fades out the back so much. And that's the thing, too. That's a terrible combination to have. And hopefully, that's not something that we expect him to do. But, when you don't have a great arm, and who used to do that a lot, too? Derek Carr. He used to do that a lot, like do those fadeaway throws. But Derek Carr sometimes get away with it, and some of these quarterbacks out there get away with it because they have a pretty good arm. Minshew doesn't have that, luxury. So that's something to keep an eye on.
I didn't see it all the time. I saw one or two occasions where he won it. Like one of them we'll talk about later on. It's maybe one other occasion, but look at his throw. His throw to Tucker. Stood in there, delivered a throw. There's an edge rusher coming around. He stepped up, delivered a throw. Same thing when they played to DJ Turner. He drifted in the pocket, delivered a throw. I mean, I don't see. Yeah, and thank you, man. Like people be putting
but that's not the argument. Like that's not y'all gotta pay attention. Pay attention.
His arm is barely above average, and Gardner Minshew's arm is barely below average.
Yeah, no. Minshew's arm is below average.
It's barely below average.
Oh, barely below average. That's what we doing.
His arm is barely below average, and AOC's arm is barely above average, man. It's
come on, man.
Arm, bro. If people putting too much on him.
Come on, man.
The people will be like, "Oh, Gardner's a gunslinger," but but he's trash arm. Like, nah, his arm is barely below average. It's like average to below average.
Barely below average. It's below average. It is. You can
barely
even argue,
below average.
You can say AOC's arm strength is average.
Yeah, it's slightly above average. It's slightly above average. It's like AOC, it's like a C plus, and Gardner Minshew's like a C minus.
AOC's strength is his accuracy. That's what you could tell. Like if he were to develop into a really good backup quarterback, or even maybe a solid starter, if that happens, I say at best he has a average arm strength, maybe slightly above. But his accuracy is what's going to get him paid. His accuracy is definitely what's going to get him paid. That's what we noticed to begin with. Like his first preseason, he was, if y'all remember last year, he was lights out. He actually surprised me. I didn't even think that.
Yeah, I don't think he missed a throw that first preseason. I think
last year.
Perfect. So I want to say.
Yeah. Austin Avila says AOC had that solid third down throw on the curls on the right, stepping up in the pocket. Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah. That was a good throw. Yeah, man. I thought Real Talk says let's see, he says got to keep in mind AOC got the first off drive of the game. Getsy was filling out the defense to start the game. Yeah, for sure. And what did you think of Getsy? Is it too early to really evaluate him? Because like they're not really game
I mean,
playing.
it's
They're not really
preseason.
game.
It's
It's
preseason.
preseason.
Like
so
I
it's
said, bro. Like people will say that people. This is the thing. Like people will say, like, "Oh, he got the first off drive," but generally those initial drives are scripted. So if anything, that puts the quarterback in a better position because these plays are scripted. Hey, he knows what his reads are. He knows if I get this look, I'm going here. If I get this look, I'm going there. And everybody's on the same page. So that makes it like generally the Raiders in the past, they would do their burst work in the beginning of the game when the drives were scripted. It's when it got later into the game that when they would start to struggle.
Yeah. And Daniel, I agree, man. Defense are not doing much. They're just seeing what guys can play straight up and guys will. Yeah, like they're not doing too much, man. It's straight up. And that's why like you'll see quarterbacks play well in the preseason. Hey, what'd you think of off topic Raider, but kind of on topic, JJ McCarthy? What'd you think of him?
I wasn't impressed. I mean, I think he did a lot of work. Like he did a lot of his work against our third and fourth DBs, and people were like hooping and hollering, saying he had such a great game. Like he's throwing touchdowns against blown coverages and doing stuff like that. And they're like, "Oh my God, look at JJ McCarthy." Like I wasn't really impressed. The one time he really had to play under any kind of duress, he threw an interception. Was made a bad throw or threw an interception. So I think he did show off his arm strength. He did show off his athleticism, but I wasn't necessarily impressed.
Hey, the way I'm looking at JJ McCarthy, he's what, 20 years old, 21 years old?
I think he's 21.
And
so
yeah, he didn't look too bad, man. I think there's definitely room for improvement, but I like what I wouldn't say that it was bad. I thought like there's something I think the Vikings, they might have something there. They might have something there with JJ McCarthy because look, think about it this way. Think about it this way.
Go ahead.
Think of what he has, like his supporting cast. You got one of the best play callers in the NFL in O'Connell, right? Then you got a number one receiver in like that. You got a guy that's going to get open consistently. A number one receiver. Come on, man. And you got like Hawkinson, tight end, one of the best tight ends in the league. People throw that that term all the time, but like he's top 10 tight end. You can make an argument.
Top 7-ish.
Yeah, and then you're not a USC guy, but this
Jordan Addison. Yeah, I'm not a USC.
This would have been
Jordan
a good Big Mike. Big Mike would have came through and be like,
Jordan Addison's a good player though. He's good. Yeah. He's gonna be one of the best tools in the league in very, very soon, if not already. He's a very good player.
Yeah, so early on he's gonna get that as he develops. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's something to keep an eye on.
I wasn't impressed. I mean, like I would say, it wasn't like a bad performance. I wouldn't say, oh, he's terrible, get him out of here. But It was like, okay, like I didn't see anything that said, like, oh, this guy, he's going to be something. It's just like, okay, like, it was meh.
Man, but I guess you know what it is. I'm looking at his talent compared to the talent that we have at quarterback. Like, it's a big difference.
Just pure talent. I mean,
it's a big difference. Big difference.
Yeah. Nah, big factor. I mean, like, if you look at a lot of these rookie quarterbacks, if you see what Michael Penix Jr. did, I think you see the massive difference in talent there. Even what Bo Nix was able to do. I mean, you see just a talent gap there. We got to talk about Caleb. Who else? I said, hell, even Spencer, Joe Milton, and Spencer Rattler. They both, like, if you look at the throws they're able to make and just their arm strength and the way they move, like that, it's a wide talent gap there. And we had a chance to draft, those two guys late, and we elected not to. So, it is what it is.
Visual Combo says ALC style of play fits more for this offense, to be honest. We'll see, man. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, man. I think it just depends on who the starting quarterback is, and they're gonna tailor that offense around that quarterback. Because we've seen Getsy have different style quarterbacks, mostly mobile from what
mostly mobile quarterbacks.
And I mean, I guess with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, and then
Aaron Rodgers, and then Justin Fields, Tyler Bagent, like all the guys will have mobility. I don't remember what kind of player Tyler Bagent was, but he wants to throw the ball down. I mean, generally he wants a guy that's going to push the ball downfield a little bit. And
Hey, real talk, man. Raider Nation, man. He makes a good point. The ops coordinators tend to open it up after a couple of drives if they have a sense of what the D's game plan is, especially in preseason. When you figure out what they're going to do over and over again, I guess that would really help Minshew, especially on those big plays. But he went out there, he balled, so you can't take that.
But like I said though, those initial drives are scripted. So like if anything, we see that like those first quarterbacks have an advantage because the drives are scripted. They know exactly what the reads are. So they're not having to figure out a lot of stuff, especially against a very base defense. Like most of the time these guys are playing man or they're playing some variation of like, a lot of teams play cover 3 now. So like it's not a whole bunch of difficult reads. They know, hey, if this guy's here, I'm gonna go there with it. This guy's here, I'm gonna go there with it. Like he even had like an easy screen early in the game. It looked like there might have been something they checked to. Hey, I see this guy off the line of scrimmage. We're gonna check to this. Throw it to Jacoby. Jacoby made the guy like the guy didn't even touch him. Like they tried that same thing later on with Christian Wilkerson. Christian Wilkerson got tackled immediately. It was bad luck for him. But generally like these early drives are scripted. So like it's much easier for teams to be effective early because they already know what the script is. It's once you have to adjust to what the defense is doing that it gets difficult. But this is preseason, so it's not a lot that's really changing later on in the game. They're going to run essentially like very base stuff.
OJ Reyes says put Minshew in that third down situation where AOC got sacked and he also getting off the field. I don't know,
Minshew's
man.
going to score a touchdown there. Minshew's going to run and score a touchdown, or he's going to run and throw the ball away.
I felt like the tackle got beat early, so I don't know, and it was his blind side too. So it's like
the tackle got beat early, but
and everybody was covered, and it felt like
but we were in shotgun, so like we were in shotgun, so like you have time to escape. Like it's not like he was under center and the guy got beat.
Minshew would have bailed early. Minshew would have bailed early and ran into.
The guy got beat in 2 seconds. How was he gonna bail? You can't bail. He's gonna bail early.
He would have got out of there. He would have just did a fadeaway pass.
He would have got out of there. He probably would have scored right there. Actually, if anything.
Yeah, it's hard to say. But yeah, look, Minshew, he went out there. He balled. So you got to give him credit. But but that being said, it's still close, man. Like I like what I seen from AOC. And hopefully we'll get more than one drive. And if he has a tough game next game, whatever quarterback has a tough game, you could tell I think the Raiders are going to make their decision based off that. But I still think AOC is going to pull this one out. I don't know, for some reason I think he's going to pull it out, but we'll see. But if Minshew does get the starting job. The play that stands out that he got was like what 3rd and 3 or 4, and he was able to get that first down.
Yeah.
Like if he continues to do that, and let's say a guy like let's say AOC next game, same situation, and we don't get a first down, or we get a 3 and out, or we get off the field because AOC's mobility is just it shows up to be an issue. Then you can see how Minshew could just probably, get that job that way. But I thought that's probably the best. That's the biggest thing that separates AOC between Minshew is that ability to like, all right, use his legs. That's the biggest thing. And it's not like Minshew is like Justin Fields or Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson. It's just that he has that ability over AOC because AOC is not going to do that. He's not going to beat the DN. He's not gonna beat defensive line and get a first down. Like he's not gonna do that.
Yeah, but it's not about people. I think people confuse like mobility. You think you have to be like some crazy athletic guy. Like Derek Carr's a better athlete than Gardner Minshew, like by far. It's just that it's having the willingness and like the instinct to do those things. And like Aidan O'Connell, he clearly doesn't. It's that's not in him. I think the things that separates them is I think Gardner Minshew is much more willing to push the ball downfield, but I also think he's much more of a risk taker. So I think where Aidan O'Connell has the advantage is that he is the safer option. If you're in like a do no harm type of mode, and that's where you're at, like, hey, you know what? I rather have a guy that's not going to necessarily take the chances, but also won't put the ball in harm's way. And then a guy that, hey, you know what, we may score more points and we're going to push the ball downfield, but we might, he might turn the ball over, or he might, have some opportunities for some interceptions. And I think AP, being a defensive coach, he's going to lean toward the safer option. And I think he's going to lean towards, Aidan O'Connell if it comes down to it. But I think that if Minshew comes out this next game and he balls out and he separates himself, I think, AP, he's going to have no choice but to name him the starter. Or possibly, because he made some interesting comments that we'll get into later.
Man, shout out to Austin Avila for the super chat. Appreciate the support. He says Minshew was going against twos, though. I want to see him play against some ones on defense. That's true. I'm not sure. Did the Vikings ones play that first drive? I know the Raiders did. I know the Raiders defense was out there.
I think they played that. I think they played that first drive. But all the Raiders ones were out there. Yeah, like Trey Tucker and DJ Turner and were out there. Like Harrison Bryant. So not like Gardner Minshew had all the ones. Michael Mayer didn't play. Brock Bowers didn't play. Jacoby, he didn't have Jacoby. So he was like.
No, I mean the Vikings. The Vikings defense against AOC, was it the ones? I'm not sure if the ones fully played against the Raiders offense. I know the Raiders. I know the Raiders defense played.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But
he says I want to see him play against the ones on defense. I did like his chunks plays though. Yeah, he did get some big plays. Also, that was a great catch by Trey Tucker too. The way he tracked that ball and he was able to dive for that catch. Also, can Minshew consist? You say you had an issue with that catch?
I don't think he needed to dive. I mean, I think if he would have kept running, I think he would have got there. And I think if he would have kept running, I think he would have caught it and maybe scored.
Hey man, all I'm saying when I can't relate, but like when you got short arms.
That is true. Yeah,
you can't
that is
risk
very
it.
true.
You can't risk it, and I can't blame him for that. He do got short arms, and he's not the biggest guy, so he had to make sure he got that catch, and I'm not mad at that, man. So Trey Tucker, that was a good catch. Also, can Minshew consistently run the offense? That offense been unpredictable in the past. Yeah. We'll see, man. Next game, it sounds like he's going to be starting next game, and then hopefully LC also will get some run as well. No matter if it's the ones or twos, we just want to see a few drives of him where he can consistently move the offense down the field. And hey, man, let the best man win that QB spot. So we'll see, man. Hey, Austin, man, I appreciate the super chat for real, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I wish AP didn't break it up into this guy's going to play this amount of quarters, this guy's going to play that amount of quarters. I wish they broke it up in drives. Like, you know what? Hey, you're going to get 3 drives. You're going to get 3 drives, because it was unfair to O'Connell, because the Vikings had such a long drive that first one. And then he had to drive such a long drive when he got the ball that, he really didn't get a much of an opportunity after that. I'd rather him, hey, you know what, we're going to give you 3 drives. Minshew, you get 3 drives. And no matter what point of the game it is, you're going to get this amount of drives. I'd rather do it that way. At least then it's split up evenly, and you get to evaluate the guys, somewhat evenly. Even though one is going to be playing more against backups, but you still want to give them those opportunities to get those passes into the air.
Hey, my guy Raider Smoke with another super chat, man. Appreciate the support once again, my guy Smoke, man. Hey, man, we gotta see you at a game, man. We got you, bro. Like, just literally we're going to that first Chargers game. Let us know if you're going to any other game, and we gonna link up. And this is also to everybody that comes through and supports and watch the show. We're gonna be going to games, so make sure to let us know, or hit us up on social media or whatever. We're gonna let you know which games that we go to. We're for sure going to that first game. Let us know, man. Hey, hit us up, and hey, we got y'all, man. We're gonna have a good time. Smoke, man. He says, I get what you're saying, Pharaoh, but in the league today, you need a QB that can push the ball down the field and create and make plays. I agree with Severe 100%. Minshew adds a different dynamic on offense. I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? All offseason, I've been pushing to get a quarterback. We didn't get in the draft. I was disappointed the Raiders didn't draft a quarterback. I also was the guy that said, hey, let's look into getting one of these young quarterbacks that stash on some of these teams, like a Hendon Hooker or, fill in the blank young quarterback, and to add to the room that some of these the quarterbacks that we have on the roster, because Minshew is a journeyman backup. AOC, we all understand that his athleticism is very limited, but the Raiders decide to just roll with what they got because, supposedly they tried to trade up. I don't know how much they tried, but reportedly they tried to trade up and get their quarterback. They passed on the quarterback. Yeah, they didn't. Apparently not hard enough. And on top of that, they had opportunities to get some of these young quarterbacks later in the draft. Like literally, they passed up, drafted a linebacker, drafted a DB. You know what I mean? Joe Milton with the Patriots was drafted in the 6th round. Spencer Rattler was drafted in the 5th round. These are all things that I noticed, and now like it puts a big microscope on the quarterbacks that we currently have. So I'm just saying, look, from what we have, like Minshew, I like some of his strengths, but also you got to acknowledge his weaknesses too. You know, there are weaknesses to his game, just like AOC. There's weaknesses to his game, and whoever the best quarterback is, that's whoever that is, whoever they decide that is. I'm going to be all for it. But right now, I like what I seen from AOC. I just want to see him get more drives. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, man. I appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the super chat. Raider Zach, man, Minshew better look better. AOC has played 10 games in his career. That's true. The experience factor, but hey, at the end of the day, it don't matter. Whoever's the better quarterback is gonna get the job. So,
like CJ Stroud came in playing no games in his career. So I mean, like, like at the end of the day, bro, you're a professional, and Aidan O'Connell's also like 26 years old. He's about to be 26 years old. So he's played a whole bunch of football in his life. So like Gardner Minshew is 28. They're separated by 2 years. So like they're not that much of a gap in age difference. He played a long time in college. And now he's in the pros. So either you can get it done or you can't. It don't matter how long you played in the league.
Daniel Kim, hey, you're not a big Joe Milton guy. I know that you've been kind of saying you're not really big on him, but Joe Milton is a huge arm without the ability to read a field nor throwing guys open. You might be right. He was listed as a 4th stringer against I don't know who they played, but the Patriots listed him. He was a 4th stringer. I think Bailey Zapp was like the 3rd stringer. Second, who's the backup quarterback? I think right now Drake May's listed as the backup quarterback, and Brissett is the veteran. I think May is gonna eventually get that spot. They only had him. Like play one series. So that should tell you everything you need to know. Like they're like they don't want him to get hurt because they know that they're probably gonna have him start at some point. Yeah. He only played like one series, which is interesting because what's the big thing about Drake May? Like, hey, he needs the experience, he needs the reps, young quarterback. Like, but that's the Patriots' problems. We don't care about them. Yeah. But yeah, man. Hey, look. Also, call-in number 628-333-9343. Man, let us know your thoughts. Last week we kind of I announced it on the show, and then I forgot to put the phone number on. So if y'all want to call in, chop it up, let us know your thoughts on the quarterback situation, the Raiders, what you've seen from last game, and what to expect from the team this year. Just call us at 628-333-9343, and we'll chop it up with you. That being said, let's move it along, man. There's a lot to talk about, and we kind of touched on, some of the things that we wanted to talk about on this segment, man, and we already know what it is, man. It's flag on the play.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Hey, man, look, I guess we can just, since we're talking about the quarterbacks, we could talk about the two throws that pretty much exemplify their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And we can start off by talking about Minshew. Let's start with Minshew, right? Because I got the clip for that. So it is what it is. But Minshew.
You see this bias, y'all? You see this bias?
I'm just saying, man.
He's in This guy's in the tank.
If look, I wish I had the full play, but you could see some other players were open. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't his first read. I don't know why he didn't get the ball out a lot sooner, or maybe he thought he can get something bigger, but he bailed, and it's me and you we talked about it, and we were like, let's save it for the show. But like you said, a D tackle flashed. Was it that play where I think where he rolled out and then Harrison Bryant got the hospital ball?
Yeah.
I felt like it could have been a possibility where he could have stepped up a little bit, or he bailed a little bit too early, or he could have at least stepped up into the pocket.
Couldn't have stepped up. So that's the issue. They said this is what people, because if he would have stepped up, then the DT would have reversed course, and then Parham would have got attacked, would have hit with a holding penalty. What he needed to do was drift a little bit to the right, and then he had Trey Tucker on the left. Trey Tucker was running wide open. If he steps up, that D tackle peels back, Parham grabs him or holds him, it's going to be a holding penalty.
Right, and let me see if I could like Harrison Bryant here, he's left the building. Like they're looking at it. He's looking at him, but he's not there. Let's see. Let's see if I could play.
And look, you can see the Viking defender come in there and saw him in half. That one will leave a mark.
I couldn't find the clip where we could see the full play, but there were some other options that he could have went to, or he could have at least got rid of the ball, or at least stepped up in the pocket and made a different play. But maybe that's the downside of Minshew. Sometimes maybe he's looking for that big play and he passes up the play where you could have got a first down, or just 5-7 yards, but he's going for the big play, and then. But it is what it is. That's definitely a flag on the play.
Definitely, man. I commented during the game, like Devontae saw that, he immediately called up AP, like, bro, let this happen in the game, bro. We got some issues.
Yeah, no, facts. You seen how Devontae was reacting to Jimmy G, and receiving passes from him, and he just kept. It felt like every game he was getting hit by opposing defender. You know what I mean? And like he even made a comment like, "I've never been hit this much in my career." So you the receivers.
That ball right there.
That ball. And it's kind of one of those unspoken rules, like that trust that the receiver has in a quarterback. Like, don't put me in harm's way. You got to see that there's a defender right there. Don't just don't throw a pass knowing that I'm gonna get hit. Like that. But that was a tough play by Minshew, and something that he's definitely got to like learn from. Flag on a play for sure. And then the other flag on the play, I'm gonna leave this as severe, man, because I think he's been waiting for this one.
Oh, we talking about
the pass by AOC.
Oh yeah, man. Like I mentioned it earlier, but Aidan O'Connell had that pass where he's rolling out to his right, and then he skips the ball to a receiver. I mean that was a disgusting play. I don't care if you've played 10 games in the NFL or if you've played 10 minutes in the NFL. Like you have to at least give your receiver a chance to make a play on that ball. He didn't even give his receiver a chance to make a play. So I think that was nasty. And as you said, each of those things kind of exemplified the weaknesses of these quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew throwing a ball that he shouldn't have thrown. Putting the ball in harm's way, and in fact putting his receiver in harm's way. Like that's something you never want to do. As you said, they're trusting you to not do that because they're like I've played the position, right? Like like when you're playing receiver, you got blinders on. Like you understand. Like I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie The Replacements, but the dude was like, the ball is like a one-man code to Clifford Franklin. Clifford Franklin the only one catching it. Clifford Franklin the only one coming down with it. So that's the only thing you're thinking about is I gotta get to this pass, and you lay your body out, and unfortunately he got Harrison Bryant destroyed, and then Aidan O'Connell, his just complete lack of ability to not only throw in the run but just to show any kind of athleticism, and it's just it's like there are very few non-athletic quarterbacks that are surviving in the league nowadays.
Nick 209, man. Hey, man. He says a gunslinger without a gun, man. I think he's talking about Minshew.
Neither one of them got no gun though, bro. Neither one of them got no strap. I mean, you
true,
know,
man.
like,
Yeah, no, facts. Let's see, man. Matthew Stafford at 16. Daniel Kim said Matthew. I guess you guys having conversations here. Let's see. All Eyes says I just don't see AOC being that accurate down the field. He has decent arm, average strength, but actually downfield it's us. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna base it off last season, hey, that's all we have, right? Yeah, that's all we have. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But it's hard to really evaluate last season for AOC because it's really unfair because the offense as a whole was terrible. There was no type of consistency going on when it comes to the offense. I mean, there's weapons everywhere, but like he had a rookie play caller. He's a fourth round rookie. It just there's so many different things going against him. It's hard to really judge. So this year we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and if he wins, like hopefully that's something that he can show Raider Nation that he can do on a consistent basis. But last year he was one of the worst in the league. But guess also who was one of the worst in the league? The guy that's a veteran in Minshew. He was top 5 in that for in accuracy downfield. I think 20 plus yards down the field. I think he was listed as number 4 on the list. AOC was listed like number 2. So, take that for however you want to take that. That's why I'm AOC. There's a possibility that could get better, but I think Minshew. I think that at this point, that's just his game. I'm not sure if we're gonna get. But also look at it from this perspective, too, as well. Like everybody that we have on offense has ability to get yards after the catch, and if you notice some of the passes that AOC was able to get to some of the receivers and tight ends, they were able to get some yak. I think. And, that's another thing, too, we didn't even talk about. I don't even know why you brought it up. Hey, so far, so good with that 2 tight end offense.
It looks great. It looks great. And we're not even seeing all of it because, like I said, it's keeping it very vanilla. There's going to be some spots where Brock Bowers is going to be in the backfield. He's going to be at fullback, at H-back. Like, we haven't even seen what we're really going to do. So I think they're going to get real creative with both him and with Michael Mayer, right? I think there would be some situations where Michael Mayer's in the backfield, coming out doing some creative stuff. So I think that they're going to do some very interesting things, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, especially the regular season, man. I'm looking very forward to seeing what they do with these guys. Yeah, I like how they had Brock Bowers at fullback. And he was able to get that catch. And he wasn't even the first option on that play. And, AOC was able to get him. But, man, Brock Bowers looks the part. Mayer looks good. Yeah, definitely. They both look great. And you know what's so good about what we've seen on offense? We're excited about the pieces that we have. Devontae wasn't even on the field. Facts. So Devontae is going to probably take that. It's going to take it to another level because he's going to demand attention, and then you're going to have other guys going one-on-one everywhere. Man, I can't wait to see that, and hopefully that elevates the QB play. Hopefully, whoever's at quarterback, whether it's Minshew, AOC, that's what we betting on. We're not really betting on the quarterbacks. We're betting on the pieces around the quarterbacks. Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah. If we really want to be honest. Man, but let's get back into it, man. So this one, I'm gonna let you lead the way for the second. The second, I guess we can call this the second or third flag on the play, and this is on Antonio Pierce. You want to let the people know what the flag on the play for Antonio Pierce is, man? Yeah, we kind of all saw what happened down the stretch of the game. This guy, he struggled with this all of last year. It was one of my biggest concerns about him. Being hired as the head coach. Was his clock management. It cost us some games last year potentially, and looks like he's getting the cobwebs out early because his use of timeouts down the stretch will basically cost us this game as well. Yeah. It's preseason, but then obviously he had a large stretch of last season where he was the head coach for the Raiders as an interim, and that was one of the questions with him. We kind of gave him the benefit of doubt. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but first preseason game, he's making mistakes. So hopefully that's not something that we continue to see in the regular season. But this is what he had to say after he was asked about it.
Antonio, obviously exhibition game, so it's more about just seeing the reps and seeing how guys react. But at the end, taking those timeouts, what was kind of your mindset in taking those timeouts at the end of the game?
Yeah, lesson learned. I mean, we talked about it. Thought maybe something that will play out a little differently. If I could do it over again, probably would.
Ask you, in your experience.
He just kept it simple. He was like, hey, I made a mistake. I'm gonna get better. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
but it's still a concern. Let's see, man. Let me get to, man. I know I'm behind in the chat real quick, but yeah.
Chat going wild. But
chat is going wild, man. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up, man. Appreciate everybody. Let's see what let me catch up here. But yeah, that's pretty much that wraps up flag on a play, man. Those are the biggest flags on a play from that we've seen from the game. Obviously, Antonio Pierce is showing, his inexperience, and then obviously the quarterback play. Even though they played well, they both kind of showed their weakness and limitations at quarterback, and it's like, oh man.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't think either guy whoever you had as the favorite going in was probably your favorite coming out. If you had Minshew as a favorite going in, then he was your guy coming out. If you had AOC going in, then he was your guy coming out. Like I said, I personally, I think, Gardner Minshew played better, but I can see Antonio Pierce being a defensive coach saying, hey, I'd rather the guy, the do no harm guy, than the high risk but potentially high reward guy.
Yeah, man. Daniel Ken says pink lot for the fire. Yeah, man. Shout out, man. I think Protect the Shield got something going on over there. And my guy Leo, he's kind of leading the way with that as well. So we definitely gonna be there. We're gonna stop by and support, man. We're gonna have a good time. So make sure to stop by pink lot for the tailgate before the game for the Chargers first game of the season, man. If y'all in LA, man, going to the game, make sure to stop by the tailgate. It's gonna be in the pink lot, right? Is that what it is? Yeah, all right, man. So make sure to pull up. We gonna be up there, man, for sure, man. So, man, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to go to this game. Let's see. Real Talk got something for you. He says, Severe, can you just give Tucker credit for that catch? Severe's next comment, he caught it, but he only used 7 fingers, not all 10. Hey,
don't bring it. I can break. And I mean, but I'm just a guy that I played the position, and there are two things. Like, I was taught as a receiver very early. Like, if you can dive to catch a pass, you can probably run under the pass and catch it as well if you extend. Or if you can jump to catch a pass, if you're on the run, on a dead run, and you can jump to catch a pass, you can probably run under that pass as well. So I don't. First of all, I don't like diving because you can get hurt, and I've seen some guys like crack some ribs diving. But also that limits your run after catch ability. So I thought he could have caught it, but you brought up a good point. Especially he's been having some questionable hands, and he has some very short arms too. So maybe he was like, look, I'm gonna make dang sure I get my elbows under this thing.
Oh man, hey, look, and another thing too, Raider Nation 511 says Amari Gainer had a 90+ PFF grade. Yeah, I mean, I think the linebackers kind of. Hey, the Raiders might have some depth.
What did PFF say about the quarterbacks though? By the way,
shout out to Gardner Minshew. I believe he had like a 87 point something. I think. Let me try to see if I can pull that up here.
Really? A non-Raider fan saying Gardner Minshew was clearly the bet. Oh my goodness.
Let's see. Here.
Interesting.
Let me. I think did I send you this too? I think I might have sent this to you. But the highest graded Raiders. Let me see if I can post this on the screen for everybody to see, man. So the highest graded Raiders in the preseason opener. Pull this up here. So let's see if we can see. All right, so you can see it right there. Jack Jones. 92.3, Amari Gainer, 90.6, Gardner Minshew, there you go, 87.6, Jacorian Bennett, shout out to him, man. He had a nice little pass deflection on 3rd and goal, man. Big time play, man. It's nice to see his play kind of translate. You know, it's always nice when you hear players that are playing well in training camp, and then you go to you watch the preseason game and they're playing well there. So it's translating, man. So that's good to see. Jalen Guyton got a 79.5. Well, he didn't play until later in the game, right? Some of these guys didn't play later into the game. So Jalen Guyton, I think, played more so in the second half. I don't know if he played in the first half. I'm not sure at this point if he's going to even make the team, to be honest with you. The Raiders might go young at that position, but we'll see. But yeah, man, let's move it along, man. Let's go to notable quotables. If you want to let the people know the first notable quotable.
So the first notable quotable is Antonio Pierce. He was asked, how does he weigh a guy performing well in a preseason game as opposed to a guy performing well in practice, and will he, essentially, does the preseason outweigh what a guy does in practice?
All right, let's go hear what he has to say.
Can't hear it.
Hold on. Oh, damn. I guess we're going to have to do it old school style.
Old fashioned. All right.
Old fashioned way. Let's see if I could hook this up. I don't know why it's not working, but we gonna make it work for sure. Let's see. All right, let's see. Screen share here.
Your experience, are there certain players who are better geared for games and practices, or that like game players versus practice players? And how do you weigh that in as a coach when you look at guys in terms of evaluating their skill set?
Yeah, there was a couple of guys that showed up yesterday that, hadn't been doing so well in practice, and they put the pads on and they play at a different level, but that's not pro football. Pro football is doing it in the meeting rooms and the walkthroughs and practice, and that's the only way you build trust and accountability with your teammates and the coaches, put you out there. You're not going to ever get to game day if you don't do it right in practice. So it's great that some of those guys did that yesterday in the game, but if they can't do it throughout the week, you can't trust them to put them out there in the game.
Ask you, in your experience,
Hey, man. So you're telling me Trey Tucker, he's because DJ Turner is a guy that we've heard, and I'm using Trey Tucker as an example, right? Because we're hearing Trey Tucker early on in the offseason. We heard from players and coaches that he was a guy to watch out for, even from head coach Antonio Pierce, and then training camp.
I think we have somebody that tried to call in. They said it was not available.
Oh, hold on, man. Yeah, you know what? I last week I seen someone called in. Hold on, man. Let me see. I'm gonna get that fixed, but in the meantime, we could talk about this clip real quick. And I'm using Trey Tucker and DJ Turner for example. DJ Turner and Trey Tucker had I guess opposites training camps, because we hear a lot of DJ Tucker or Trey Tucker, dropping a lot of passes in training camp, and then DJ Turner's making a lot of plays with different whoever at quarterback, whether it's Minshew or AOC or any other guys that's passing it to him, he's making plays, and then all of a sudden we hear, Antonio Pierce kind of shot him out in last week's presser. He kind of shouted him out, and then come game time, he scores a touchdown. But also Trey Tucker shows out. So
yeah.
Is this a shot at Trey Tucker possibly, or not just Trey Tucker, but players in that similar situation where they're not having the greatest training camp, but they're showing up to the game and playing well?
Yeah, I think he's trying to spur guys to perform better in practice more than anything. I think he's trying to light a fire under these guys and get them to have that same level of performance in practice. That way that kind of elevates the level of everybody else. When everybody's playing at that level in practice, then that forces everybody to kind of raise their level or be outshined. So I think that's what he's kind of trying to do. But on our next notable quotable, which is from a multiple Super Bowl winning coach, probably a first ballot Hall of Fame coach. He says things a little bit differently, and I just had some questions about that contrast, and kind of wanted to throw it to you about what you feel, and see kind of what the night crew, what they feel about it as well.
All right, so let's go to the second notable quotable here. Let's see here. And this is Mike Tomlin.
Yes. And he was asked a similar question, and just wanted to see what his response was in contrast to what Antonio Pierce's response was. So Antonio Pierce said basically, if you can't do it during practice, I really don't care what you do during the game. Tomlin had a little bit of a different answer.
Let's go hear what he has to say.
Is how do you weight what happens on the practice field here versus what happens in a stadium?
Very much is a competition. What happens in stadium is weighted heavier than what happens in a practice setting because it's more game-like.
Is how do you weight what happens on the practice field here versus what happens in a stadium?
Very much is a competition. What happens in stadium is weighted heavier than what happens in a practice setting because it's more game-like.
So I think
it's a good point. That's a good point. At the end of the day, man, like
Yeah,
you could be the greatest practice player. If anybody's a Laker fan out there, y'all knew that Sasha Vucic was one of the best shooters of all time in practice. You know
the
what
machine.
I mean? The machine. They call that guy a machine. But game time, when the game, shout out to him in the finals. He did make those free throws. Leon, shout out to him.
Exactly.
If you want to take it way back, but.
Yeah. Speaking of free throws, though, Kobe said it about Dwight Howard, right? He said Dwight Howard, they tracked it. Like Dwight Howard was like an 80-some% free throw shooter in practice. But once those lights came on, he obviously, you see, he wasn't that kind of free throw shooter. So, I hope AP is just using that as a tactic to motivate some guys, because in my opinion, what a guy does in the preseason should greatly outweigh what the guy does in practice. No, I don't want to say greatly outweigh, but it should outweigh by a good bit what he does in practice. Because as he said, that is a game-like situation, and you want the guys to be at their best in games, right? Like you can have a good, like we've heard it all before, right? We heard this how many times last year? Do we hear it after a tough loss with Josh McDaniels, where he's like, man, I don't understand what happened. We had a great week of practice. We were running, performing on all cylinders in practice all week long, and then you get to the game, and guys don't perform. So like I said, we don't win. We don't necessarily win games, quote unquote, in practice. You want to play at your best in practice to set the standard for that week, but at the end of the day, you can set that standard all week and then not make that standard on Sunday. I want guys that perform at their best when the lights are on.
Yeah, no, facts. And I think that's just AP. He just wants the players to step up in the practice field. But like, I think he would agree with Mike Tomlin. You know what I mean? I don't think AP would disagree with him. If it would be weird if he disagreed with them on that one, because at the end of the day, like that's what really matters. But I can see where Mike Tomlin's coming from, but I also can see what AP's trying to say at the end of the day. Like, they're going to have to trust you to be a player that can perform when the lights come on. How are they going to know if you don't ever perform in practice?
But that's part of the reason why we have preseason. If that's what preseason is for.
Right. And the thing is too, like AP, if that were true, then he would have a serious issue at quarterback right now, because none of those guys are performing in training camp.
Exactly.
And those two guys, Minshew and AOC, are going to be the guys that he's going to determine in the game. The guys that he's going to determine from the preseason games is going to, whoever plays well or bad is going to turn out to be the backup quarterback and starting quarterback for the Raiders. So, and it's going to be determined by the preseason games, because if we're going off what we're hearing about in training camp, I'm sure he's not going to be excited about that. Like, so I think it just depends. It's all about context. I think it just really depends on the situation.
I agree. That there's some context there. And I think that, as he said, you want a guy that performs well in practice in order to trust that you can put him in the game. But if a guy gets into a game and he performs, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that kind of says it all right there. Like, if the guy's out there and he's performing well, then the guy is obviously he's a gamer. He's a guy that's going to perform well when the lights are on. So I mean, I think that should weigh much more heavier than what a guy does in practice.
Yeah. Hey, I'm working on the phone real quick. So as soon as I get this fixed for y'all, then make sure to call in. I'm gonna take the number off real quick while I work on this. But yeah, man, let's get into the chat real quick, man. Man, y'all talking about Dak Prescott in here? Oh man, man, CJ Stroud, don't get severe on that, man. Severe is gonna have some nightmares, post-traumatic stress off of CJ Stroud, and he looks like he's gonna be. He's already like, you could probably argue maybe a top 10 quarterback or top 15 at the very least.
He's probably top 10.
Top 10 at this point. I mean, yeah. I mean, outside of like the top 3 or 4, like it's pretty much debatable at that point. So you want to man, y'all going crazy in the chat, man. Trying to catch up.
Yeah, the chat going crazy.
Let's see. Let's get it.
But
into it. You said,
yeah, man.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get drivers there. Man, y'all going crazy in the chat, man. I'm like, what the hell, y'all? Let's see. Good thing the Chargers week this year. Oh, we got some Charger fans in here. Oh man.
Do we?
I mean, the two that we know that exist, I think, are in our chat right now. So, because we all know the first game in SoFi Stadium is going to be blacked out. So,
you already know
it's going to be an extra home game.
You already know.
Since he has speed. Yeah, I think. But then DJ Turner got speed too as well. I think someone's talking about
DJ Turner versus Trey Taylor.
All right, he says Tucker only there since he has speed to separate himself. But DJ Turner, I think, had a little bit of speed too, right? I think he got a little bit of speed. Man, all right, man. Let's move it along. Let's see. Daniel Kim says it's more nuanced than that. Who are you lining up against? What is the defense running? Can you do it consistently? Max always talks about consistency. Okay. Man,
yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts. I mean, I think you have to, and I think that's AP's point is that he wants to see guys consistently do it. But if a guy gets an opportunity in a game or an opportunity in a preseason game, like that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about preseason. So all of these guys are getting opportunities to play in the preseason. So if a guy performs well in the preseason and outperforms a guy that's been playing well in practice, I mean, I think that, I mean, as Mike Tomlin said, this is not words coming from me. These are words coming from Mike Tomlin. That is weighed more heavily, than a guy that's doing well in practice. Your ability to take the whole point of it is the whole reason you have practice is so you perform better on the field. But if somebody's not performing well in practice, but then he's able to learn from those experiences in practice and then play well on the field, I mean, that's your ultimate goal right there, is to have good play on the field on Sunday. And even if a guy isn't having the greatest week of practice or the greatest training camp in practice, but he gets out there and he shows, improves during the game, I think that should I think that should weigh heavily. Maybe it doesn't overtake him over a guy that's played consistently well during training camp, but it should definitely be factored in. And I think that play on the field should outweigh what the other guy did in practice. But if the guy just outperforming him so much in practice that it's like a landslide, then you have to go with the other guy.
Nah, facts. But and that goes back to what I said earlier. It's all about context. It's not every situation the same. And I think AP, I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt. I think he was just
Arnold, I'm going to put in a guy who isn't practicing well. If it's a preseason game and he outperforms them, then I'm going to put that guy in. I mean, I think I've said that ad nauseum right now.
Yeah, no. And I'm going to give AP the benefit of doubt because I think he's just talking about a specific situation. I don't think he's talking about it in every type of situation. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, he's going to put the player. If you hear what AP's trying to say, he's going to put the player that he trusts. So if the guy performs when on the biggest stage in the game, he's definitely going to trust them to put him in the next game. So
no, exactly. I mean, I think you generally earn your opportunities to play in practice. I mean, play in the game during practice. That's how you earn your opportunities. But if you get an opportunity to play in the game and you play well, I mean, I think that outweighs, what the other guy does. I think we've seen this. I think we've seen this before, where a guy gets into a game and he balls out, and then this guy, can we really take this guy off the field? And we've seen some very good players, get their opportunity because maybe they weren't playing better than the guy ahead of them in practice, but then they got into a game and they essentially took that guy's job.
All right, so I don't know what's going on with the number. I'm trying to fix it real quick so y'all can call in.
A matter of fact, I want to say James Harrison is one of those guys. James Harrison is a guy that was cut seven or 8 times. For the Steelers, I think he was cut, 6 or 7 times. But then when he got his opportunity to actually play, he balled out. And he turned into, for a time, he was one of the best defensive players in the league. So yeah, I'm going to trust what a guy does on Sundays.
If you could hold down the chat real quick while I set this up.
Yeah, I'm holding it down. Let's see. AP taking Daniel Kim says AP talking to his team through the media, pulling Phil Jackson. Yeah, I agree. I think he's trying to raise the level in practice. I think especially offensively. I don't think he really has seen what he wanted to see from the team offensively in practice. I think he said it. We talked about it last week. He said this game isn't going to. This team isn't going to put up 30 points or whatever. So I think he's really trying to light a fire under them. And maybe it's true about what Pharaoh said. Maybe he's trying to reignite that flame under Trey Tucker to kind of motivate him to get back to what he was doing previously before he got hit, with a little bit of spell of these drops that he had. We got Eddie LaForme Jr., Minshew versus O'Connell PFF rankings for week 1. Minshew was at 82.8 and O'Connell was a 71.7. As I said, I mean, the thing about the what PFF grades, you kind of got to take them. Well, you kind of got to take them with a grain of salt sometimes, just because they don't know necessarily what the read is. So it's kind of hard for them to say for sure if the quarterback is doing the right thing. It's a lot of educated guessing going on. But part of the factor that goes into the PFF grade is turnover worthy plays, as well as the difficulty of the throws. So no, Aidan O'Connell, he didn't complete as many difficult throws as Gardner Minshew did. So I think that's part of the reason why. But Aidan O'Connell, I mean, I think 71.7. I think that's too low. I would put him in the high 70s at the very least.
Astavila says, at this point, I'm going with a guy that does anything good. Yeah, not for real. Facts.
Man, 100% facts. 100% facts.
That's where we at. That's where we at, man. It sounds like both of them had bad practice. Yeah, I was. Look, that's crazy, right? But then see, that's the thing too. I feel like training camp is gonna be a lot tougher because they're gonna, especially, and someone threw this out me. Like, I think Ray was the one that told me about, like, he kind of put it from this perspective, and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree. AP being a head coach, being a defensive mind coach, he's not gonna probably take it easy on the offense. He's probably gonna just throw everything on that offense. So they, in his mind, iron sharpens iron. So he's probably gonna try to see if they can overcome that offensively. And then you go to a preseason game where it's very vanilla. You know, McCarthy, everybody was taking that comment by J.J. McCarthy earlier in the week or last week where he was like, man, I can't wait to get to preseason because it's going to be a lot easier than what I've been seeing in training camp, which it wasn't a shot at the Raiders. It was more so like, hey, look, when you get to preseason, they're literally going to be doing the same thing over and over again. You know, they're not going to, it's nothing exotic about what they're going to be doing out there on defense. So, and
base man coverage, base cover 2, base cover 3. Like it's not no crazy stuff. No team is going to put anything out there too wild. So, I mean, that's why I also talked about that. That was my point about those scripted plays. Like it's very, very simple reads, you know, generally from both guys. That's why you have to kind of look outside of those numbers to see who performed well. You can't look strictly at the numbers. You have to look at some of the throws, the level of difficulty on the throws. You know, decision making as well, and I think, you know, both guys played to their strengths.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not ringing.
Or Arnold or Lavita said, so if he's not practicing well, you're going to play him with ones and first and second team. No. If he's not practicing well, but he gets into a preseason game with the 3s and he performs very well, the next preseason game, you give him an opportunity with the 1s or the 2s. And if he continues to perform well, then you elevate him. Like it's not rocket science, brother. Not rocket science. Raider Nation 510. We got to move away from the Patriot way. Too much practice. Yeah, that was one of the things players kind of had an issue with when it came to Josh McDaniels. It's not an efficient use of their time. Holding guys way too long in practice, overcorrecting guys in practice, trying to get perfection in practice. You know, the way they corrected guys in practice. So, you know, you want practice to be, you don't want it to turn into just like a dump on session, right? Where you're just berating every single guy for every single mistake they make. It's supposed to be an opportunity to learn and grow. And guys didn't feel that was what was being done under Josh McDaniels. My guy, Eddie LaForme Jr., thank you, Severe, for your analysis on my comment about the PFF quarterback play. Nah, man, appreciate you pulling up those grades, brother, because I for sure wasn't about to look those things up. So I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
We appreciate the comments, man. Severe holding it down. I'm trying to get this number together so we could have people call in. I know some, because last week I forgot to mention this too. Like, people did call in last week, and I didn't know it wasn't working until later on. So like, I gotta.
Yeah. Raider Smoke said he called in last week too. Raider Smoke said he tried to call in as well. So
yeah, shout out Raider Smoke, and I think who didn't call in last week? I think someone. If I check it real quick.
Yeah, man.
Like, no, we're trying to fix this for y'all, man. Don't worry about it. But in the meantime, man, we can move it along to what's real, what's not. Let's see here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the first words. Okay, so this is where we say a statement. Anybody that's new that's joining us, we say a statement, and you gotta let us know if it's real or not, as well as us. We're gonna react to it as well. So I'm gonna say the statement, and you let us know if it's real or it's not. All right. So the first one is gonna be: the Raiders need to sign an additional rusher. Is that real or is it not? Let us know in the chat.
I know there's a lot of people who were panicked. All right. So I want to see what the chat says as well. Because there were a lot of people that were panicked about what they saw from our defensive line this very first game.
I was panicked. I mean, panic is a little strong, but I was disappointed. I was a little disappointed a little bit because the defensive line is something that, it should show out. It should show well in a preseason game. It's not one of those things that like, it's preseason. Nah, if a guy's not getting pressure in preseason, then like most likely he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it in the regular season because at the end of the day, you just got to beat the man in front of you. And I felt like, they weren't able to get pressure as much as we thought, especially with. I'm not worried about Max Crosby. Christian Wilkins had a moment where I think he did pressure a little bit, and obviously the quarterback, I forgot the name, Sam Darnold was able to like step up into the pocket and buy some time or whatever. But the bigger issue is probably stopping the run. Hopefully that's not something that we got to worry about. I think that's the biggest issue, because even that, if you can't stop the run, then you're not able to rush the passer.
Not facts.
So let's be honest.
I'm not ready to sound the alarm just yet. I'm gonna go with not, just because I'm still willing to give these guys more of a chance throughout this preseason. You would hope that you see a little bit of better play coming up, but as we kind of alluded to, we're going to be doing more stuff on the defensive line. They're going to be running games. They're going to be stunts, all that kind of stuff. And I think we really haven't seen any of that in this preseason. You would hope that we can line up and beat the man right in front of us, but that's not always going to be the case on every single down. So I'm not going to hit the panic alarm yet, but let's say if we get some cuts and there are some interesting names out there that we could potentially bring in, then maybe that will pique my interest a little bit more. I know we've been kind of critical of Tyree Wilson, and he did not have a good showing this very first week, even though he's been practicing well. Oh wow, ain't that a coincidence? The guy's been early in the offseason he was practicing well, and then later on in the process he stopped practicing well, and then he went out there and he didn't play well. So he wasn't able to take his early success in OTAs and transfer that into training camp and then transfer that into the game. So we'll see what guys are available after some initial cuts. But right now, to let Tyree do his thing, let him continue to develop. His first full offseason, we've spent the top 10 pick on him. So we're kind of stuck with him. We're kind of depending on him to develop. And I think we're going to see a lot more from Malcolm Koonce and Max Crosby. Max Crosby never leaves the field. Christian Wilkins never leaves the field. So essentially, we're looking at two spots. I don't even think John Jenkins didn't play either, right? Did John Jenkins play? No, I don't believe John Jenkins played.
No, he did.
John Jenkins played?
Yeah, the starters, the Raiders had their starting defense out there. That's why I was like, ooh, like I didn't like how they were just going down the field, and some of that had to do with I get it, the vanilla defense especially on the back end secondary, like Sam Darnold, like he was just out, but it's not like the Raiders were pressuring the quarterback, but he was out there, he was able to like get to his first read and complete some passes out down there to drive him down the field. So I think the big thing. I'm not as concerned, I guess, as the pressure. I was a little disappointed because I wanted to see that pressure that we're expecting with Koonce, and you got Crosby, and then you got Christian Wilkins. But the biggest thing was kind of like the run defense was giving way. But the majority of that was probably maybe later in the game. But even in that first drive, I thought the Vikings offense, they were able to run. They were able to get some positive run plays. I'm like, I didn't like that. But hey, it's the first preseason game, and it's too early to hit the panic button. We'll see against the Cowboys, right? We playing the Cowboys this week.
Yes. So, and they have they traditionally have a very good offensive line, so that'll be a chance for our guys to redeem themselves. Christian Wilkins only played one series. Max only played one series, I believe. So I'm not ready to hit the panic button just yet, especially with the way our defensive line is structured. We're structured to throw guys at offensive lines in waves, right? It's that way by the end of the game, basically all our guys are fresh or damn near fresh, and the opposite team is more tired. And they're having to go against these fresh pass rushers that are high effort guys while they're gassed. So I think that is the logic. We'll kind of see how that develops. But as somebody mentioned in the chat, it kind of all hinges on what Tyree does. If Tyree can turn the corner and start performing better, I think we're in pretty good position. But if not, we might have to make a move.
Yeah, Huey P says Yannick and Adoree Jackson. Look, I said this earlier. If Yannick's out there for a vet minimum, I wouldn't mind picking him up. Just let him do what he does best. I mean, he's had what, eight plus sacks, at least 8 sacks every year of his career, outside of last year, and I think he broke his ankle last year. So if he's healthy, or even if he's coming back, you know, and if it's a vet minimum,
yeah,
and you just let him rush the passer, you know, he's just one of those guys that you throw in at third down from time to time, because that's literally what.
Then whose spot is he taking on? That's my issue. Whose spot is he taking on third down? Because you're going to have Max. You're going to have Kuntz. Like, you got to have those guys out there. And then likely going to have Christian Wilkins, maybe slide Tyree or Adam Butler at the other defensive tackle spot.
But more so, what I'm saying is more so like as a situational pass rusher, but a depth piece. Not as a guy that you depend on consistently, like a Kuntz or Max Crosby. Because we know Max is probably not going to get off the field, but maybe Kuntz might need to get a breather. And hey, Max Crosby, he doesn't play 100% in snaps. He plays 98%. So that 2%, you know, Yannick can come in.
Like that 2% better not be on third down though, man. And we just talked about we just talked about stopping the run. We know damn well Yannick he ain't helping in that department at all. It's stopping the run. So I mean, but like for some more depth, I would just hate. You know, people kind of had high hopes for Janarius Robinson after what they saw a little bit last year. He showed some promise. He has the measurables. Same thing with Tyree. You know, he's a high draft pick, has the measurables. So I think they want to see more development out of those guys. So it all depends on, hey, do you want to let these guys, you know, learn in game situations and get the snaps under their belt against live competition, or do you think they're better suited developing in practice? And I think it kind of comes down to that. I mean, I want to see these guys play. I want to see these guys develop on the field rather than have, you know, a veteran that's not going to be a part of our future plans, like take snaps away from them.
Yeah, and we'll see. Maybe it was just one of that first game. Next game they're going to come in and probably play better against the run, so it might improve. So I think that's the biggest. If we can't stop the run, that's gonna destroy our whole defensive game plan. Like literally, we want teams to be in very you know, obvious passing situations, because we got the guys that can get to the quarterback. So if we can't stop the run, like, you could throw that out the window. So hey, it's first preseason game, so we're not going to overreact too much. But if we're being overly critical of last game, that's one of the things I noticed was like, man, like, what happened to that dominating defense that we heard that was happening in training camp? I thought we were able, you know, even last year, I think in preseason, there was a couple of games where the D-line was getting pressure.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, man, we're going to have the best D-line in the league. And then, you know, it didn't turn out to be that way, but the defense was the surprise of last season, the how well they played. And obviously, you know, Max Crosby, and then I think Kuntz kind of created. They carried that D-line as far as production, because I believe outside of Max and Kuntz, no one really got more than a couple of sacks. Like, I'm not sure if there's anybody that got more than Tyree. Did he get like 4? He got like 3 or 4. Tyree might have got 3 or 4.
Maybe. I think Adam Butler may have had a handful as well. Yeah. I mean, I think Adam Butler, of all the guys on the defensive line, I think he's the guy that's going to take the biggest step forward. I think he's going to be real productive this year. He's going to be a guy that he's pushing for a spot in the starting lineup. And we heard during his press conference, right? He's looking for a contract. He's looking to get paid, and he said himself, you know, like, he felt he's earned it, but maybe he hasn't showed other people that he's earned it. So he is looking to make a name for himself. So I think he's going to have a good year.
Raider Nation 510 says Byron Young.
Byron Young, I like what I saw from him.
Nessa J. Silvera needs more opportunity too. Yeah.
He flashed once or twice, but then there's a few other plays where he was getting washed. I mean, like washed.
Yeah. And maybe this is who Antonio Pierce is talking to.
Possibly, but he hasn't been big. He hasn't been good in practice either, though. So that's why I think you were right. And when you said Trey Tucker, I think you're kind of right. Like Trey Tucker started out hot early, and then he kind of waned down the stretch. And then he had the big reception in the game, and maybe saying like, look, man, I'm not worried about what you're doing in this game, because not only has DJ Turner been performing well in practice, DJ Turner had the touchdown, and then he had the other big catch too. So it's like, look, bro, he on your ass. So you might want to you better change it up.
Yeah, and then also shout out to Trey Tucker too. He had a nice little return too. I think he had it might have been a punt return. He is like 20 some yard punt return that he had during the game too. So that's good to see. Hopefully we can see special teams be a factor in a return game, because we need every advantage that we can give this offense. You know what I mean? If it's great field position, the quarterback play, it is what it is. The quarterbacks that we have, I feel like if we're being honest, we kind of know what we have. So anything that we can get from the players that we have on offense, special teams, is going to be a big help to this team. And I'm gonna be critical of the defense. In my opinion, I'm gonna be critical of the defense because I'm not saying off just the first game, but I'm just saying that's what's gonna pretty much determine the success of this team. If the defense ain't gonna be dominating, then are we gonna?
Yeah.
We can't expect the offense to be. Even AP himself.
Yeah.
If y'all watched Around the Shield last Saturday, make sure to check that out, man. Every Saturday morning, we talked about AP and how we had an issue with him just coming out and saying that, the offense is not going to be no juggernaut. Come on, if we're being honest, the offense is not going to be a juggernaut. Yeah. And we can't expect him to score 30 points in a game. And even though he was being honest, we didn't want to hear that from the head coach. But even AP just kept it real. It was like, hey, look.
He kept all the way real.
They're not expecting the offense to be carrying this team. So, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But it's interesting, the head coach coming out and saying that before even the season starts. That's crazy, but it is what it is. But yeah, let's move it along to the second. What's real? What's not? And if you want to, I don't know if you want to go ahead and I'll go ahead and say it real quick. For what's real, what's not, let us know if it's real or not. It's time to start being concerned about the left side of the offensive line. Is that real or is it not?
I'm going to take a wait and see on this approach on this one. If we do not get back Jackson Powers-Johnson this week, that is definitely real. That is definitely real.
I'm concerned.
If we get JPJ back, I'm a little less concerned. I think there's some that we do need some depth there, especially after seeing how Pete played horribly, and then how DJ Glaze looked on the left side as well. But I think if push comes to shove, Thayer Munford is going to be our backup left tackle. I think it's going to be a situation where DJ Glaze comes in at right tackle, Thayer Munford plays left tackle. I think Thayer Munford, he looked solid over there. So, yeah. I'm not super concerned yet. Cody Whitehair looked bad. So I'm really concerned about Jackson Powers-Johnson being back. I'm hoping he comes back soon, because that is another guy. I was really happy about that pick, and he hasn't done anything. He missed all the training camp. Hasn't played in the first preseason game. He's been out for a while, so you gotta wonder how
mini camp and OTAs too.
Exactly. So it's like, if it started with a shoulder injury, and then I'm hearing now he's in concussion protocol.
That's what I'm saying. I'm concerned because the reason why he's out is because of a concussion.
Yeah. Like how you get a concussion? They just like do you get to a squab or something, or somebody sock you out, bro?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
If he's out for this long because of a concussion, that's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. But AP did mention, just to keep it positive, AP did mention in his presser he said that he expects him to be back after the Dallas game, preseason game. So
For Jackson Power Johnson?
For both Colton Miller and Jackson Power Johnson, like he expects them both to be back after the Cowboys game. So take that for however way you want to take that. You know, at the end of the day, coach is not going to be the one that's going to determine the health of them. Like their health has to be there, but he seems pretty confident they're going to be back after the Cowboys game, which is next week, is what he's saying. They're going to be available next week. So hopefully that's true, and then the rest of history. We won't be able to talk. We won't be talking about this, but if you're asking me right now, I am concerned about the left side of O-line. And you mentioned Jackson Power Johnson, and the fact that he's out for this long for a concussion. That's something to be concerned about. Even Cole Miller being out because of the shoulder. How long has it been since he had that surgery? Early in the offseason? Like
a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
And I remember when OTAs was happening, these mini camps, and some of the Raider fans were like, what's going on with Cole Miller? And I'm like, calm down. It's early. But now the Raiders went to Costa Mesa and left Costa Mesa. They're back in Vegas,
or as Pharaoh calls it, Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa.
Hey man, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be that dude. I'm gonna be that dude in Costa Mesa with an "I love Costa Mesa" shirt with a big, just looking up the sky with a big smile. Costa Mesa.
But nah, man, I feel you. I mean, I think depth is a concern. You hope we have enough guys, young guys, to kind of fill that void that could potentially be there. I mean, hopefully, I think we're hoping that, I'm about to call him Alex Leatherwood, but Andres Pete, it might as well be Alex Leatherwood. I think we're hoping that Andres Pete is not on this team. Hey, thank you for your service. You're a vet. Hey, I know his folks played for the Raiders. We appreciate that, but I don't think he's a guy that should be on this team. I saw Dalton Wagner out there. I didn't pay a lot of attention to him. I don't know if anybody in the chat saw what he looked like. I really didn't pay a lot of attention.
O-line in the second half they just took the night off. They took the day off. Like it felt like, but even the Raiders.
We had a young guy we picked up as a Coker. I know a lot of people. Andrew Coker. I know a lot of people liked him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got out there or not. I didn't see. I didn't remember him at all. But he's a guy. We picked up that a lot of people.
Jalen McKenzie, another good sleeper at tackle. I mean, to make the team, maybe practice squad. I'm not sure if he's gonna make the team, but Mumford. I think the Raiders know that Mumford is better suited at left tackle. To be honest with you,
I think they said it. I think Telesco might have said it.
Yeah, no, not.
Or Craig. Craig said it.
Telesco might have said it, but for sure Getsy. I think Getsy.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
Or yeah, you're right. You might be right. James Craig might have said it. I think that the Raiders have come out just in general, like they've come out and said that, Mumford is better at left tackle than he is at right, but they like what he brings to the table. And, when it's all said and done, maybe Mumford is better suited as a swing tackle.
Yes.
Because he has that versatility to do that. But Daniel Kim, he makes a good point. He said, hey, if Mumford is, if Mumford is the guy at left tackle, if for whatever reason Colton Miller missed some games or he's out, and you got Glaze at right tackle, who's going to be that swing tackle? Is it Andres Pete? Is it or do we pick up a guy?
Hell no.
Hell no. To the no.
Man. I mean, I hope it's not Andres Pete, man. I hope. I see somebody in the chat saying Wagner was getting worked. I was so busy watching the debacle that was Anthony Brown Jr. at quarterback. I really didn't pay a lot of attention to what any specific offensive lineman was doing. But
hey, man, I just got to do this real quick. Raider Nation 510, the hot take of the night. He says Thayer Mumford will pass up Cole Miller this year. I don't know about
Pass
that
him
one.
up on what?
I don't know about that.
No, I don't think on the depth chart. I doubt if on the
Nah,
I doubt on
I
the
think
depth chart because just Colton Miller is he's a perfect fit for the system.
Yeah, and he's probably one of the most underrated tackles. He's Mr. Consistent. You know, on this team, like he year in year out, he's just consistently a solid left tackle. I think he's now getting some recognition. I think you can make an argument that he's top 10. And we're not. And the Raiders are. If you look at how the left tackle position is getting paid right now, we're getting a great deal on Colton Miller.
Great deal.
As far
maybe
as
not
contract.
for long though.
Not for
so
long.
Maybe that's what they mean. Maybe that's what they mean. Maybe that's what they mean because
I think. Hey, Ray, I see what Raider Nation 510 is trying. He's trying to speak it into existence. I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying.
Yeah, I mean, PFF had Colton Miller as a top 10 guy. I think they had him 10th. There's another publication I read. They had him 10th or 11th. So, like, people are recognizing how good he is as a tackle.
Nah, hey man, this recently. I mean, last year was like the first year he got. I think that he had a streak. Yeah. He had like an Iron Man streak where he literally did not miss a start until last year. He missed like a few games last year, and
he's a tough guy too. I mean, he was hurt his entire rookie season. He played through it.
Yeah, exactly. So Colton Miller, I'm not going to give him that injury tag. That's not been him his whole career until last year. Now moving forward, I don't know. I mean, you know, he hasn't come back from the shoulder issue that he's had, but AP did say they're coming back next week. That left side of that offensive line is going to be back next week. So that's good to hear. If that's the truth, hey man, we won't be talking about this for long.
Hopefully not.
Yeah,
Hopefully
Huey P.
They got a lot of catching up. Yeah. They got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, AJ Simpson says Miller's a top 10 tackle in the league, and he doesn't have any diva tendencies. I think he's going to retire Raider. Hey,
I'm hoping so, man. I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's
hoping so.
Look, Huey P said
what's
it.
My
AJ
guy's
Simpson.
Name? What's the tackle we had? Wisniewski, Steve Wisniewski. Hopefully, it's one of those situations.
Wasn't he a guard? Was he
a guard? His son was a guard, center guard.
Yeah, and I think after the Raiders, I think he went to the Eagles. His son went to the Eagles. No, it wasn't his son. I think it was like his nephew. I don't know.
Nephew or something like that. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it might have been like his brother's son or something like that. Like, still in the family. You know what I mean? Still Raider blood. Huey P says Miller top 10, 15 left tackle. Yeah, man.
Yeah, agree.
Mumford got a lot to prove, man. He got a lot to prove. Not to say that he doesn't have that in him. We just got to see it, man, because we can't take away Colton Miller's consistency from day one of being at left tackle. I think his first year he showed some promise. Then he got hurt, and then him playing through injury, he kind of struggled a little bit, especially with some tackles. And I think one of the biggest knocks on Colton Miller, like he'll struggle against like power rushers. I felt like anytime like
now what Wiz they said Wiz was a guard.
Yeah, Wiz was a guard. Yeah, Wiz was a guard. Yeah.
Who do we have at left tackle then? We had a left tackle. I want to say that played with us for a long time. I can't remember. Around that same time, I wanted to say. I thought.
Around. Let's see.
I can't remember. It's around that same time.
Like Hall of Famer? You talking about Hall of Famer?
No. Just a real solid player.
I know.
Was it? Oh boy, is it Link? Maybe I'm thinking about Link.
Lincoln Kennedy played right tackle. I think he was a right tackle.
Okay. Maybe
Donald Penn was a left tackle during the 2016 years.
That was later
Derek
on.
Carr. But that was later on though. That was later on. Robert Gallery was drafted to be a tackle, but he became a guard.
He was painful. They drafted to be a left tackle. Then they moved him to right tackle, and then moved him to guard. Right?
Yeah. Austin Howard.
Oh my God.
Austin Howard. Nah. You're taking it way back.
He was a right tackle too.
Yeah, he was a right tackle. He was like in the mid 2000 Raiders. Mid 2000 Raiders. Yeah. Daniel came out. Hey, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Hey, you caught that too. I didn't want to give him any love though. Arnold says, good night, fellas. Hey, man, we're going to be right behind you, man. Hey, this has been a great show. We appreciate everybody coming through. I apologize. The phone number was not able to work. I caught it last week, and I thought it was weird, and I didn't think that it was going to be an issue today, but, hey, I'm gonna work on that. We're going to bring the number back, and then we're going to have y'all call in. Don't worry about it. But we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, clock out at this point. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate everybody coming through. It's been a great show. Severe, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff. Oh, Barry Sims?
Yes.
Barry Sims.
Yeah, I think that was
Raider Nation 510 came through in the clutch.
Yes. Yeah. That was it. Yeah, man, you guys know what it is. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, the Severe Raider IG, Snapchat, X, TikTok, all that good stuff, man. Some more fire content coming your way. As always, we got the 50-50 show Monday nights. Then we got Around the Shield Saturday mornings. Me and Pharaoh, we got some stuff cooking up behind the scenes, looking to bring you guys a little bit of different things, different forms of media, hint. But I'm also trying to put something in the works with my guy Chris over at Protect the Shield. Me and him got some stuff bubbling behind the scenes as well, trying to link up on something, man. So yeah, just some stuff coming your way, man. Just be on the lookout. Week 2, the preseason, man, maybe we're able to finally put this demon to rest. It's been a long time trying to figure out what this quarterback is going to be. We had hopes of it being Jaden Daniels. Then we had hopes of it being Michael Penix. And now we kind of have to settle for either Aidan O'Connor or Gardner Minshew. So may the best man win. We'll see what they're able to do this Saturday against the Cowboys.
Man, appreciate that, Austin. Appreciate everybody, man, showing love right now. Great show, y'all. Y'all really killing it with the production of the show, convos. Hey, it's only going to get better, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support from everybody. Like I said earlier in the show, man, hey, we are going to be at Raider games this year. So hopefully we'll be able to see y'all. Let us know if y'all see us. We'll be vocal about where we're going to be at too. So you can meet us up during tailgates, during the games. And we appreciate the support, man. We love doing this, man. We love talking Raider football. We love talking to the nation. Like Severe said, every Monday night's the 50-50 show, man. We going to be here to talk about it. Make sure to hit the notification bell. The notification bell will let you know when we drop some new content. As for myself, obviously I do the 50-50 show. Be on the lookout on videos dropping, shorts, all that good stuff, the community tab. And yeah, as Severe said, we got something cooking up behind the scenes. So be on the lookout for that as well. And later this week, we're going to have Around the Shield drop Saturday mornings. That's a new thing that same show, new time. We had it on Thursdays, I believe, in the past, but we moving into Saturday mornings, man. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. And we'll get into at that point, I think is the Cowboys game, I believe.
Saturday night, I want to say.
Is it Saturday? I believe it's Saturday, right?
It's Saturday, yeah. It's Saturday. It's Saturday PM, though. It's a later game. I see the chat, man. I haven't been taking the bait. I've been seeing everybody in the chat trying to bait me with this Tommy Eichenberg stuff, man. I ain't taking y'all bait, man. I ain't taking y'all bait. But I just want to say, man, first of all, I want to say shout out to everybody in the chat. Man, the chat, y'all were incredible tonight, man. We cannot, and I mean this, we cannot do the show without y'all contributions, y'all talking trash, y'all little slide comments y'all be making. Hey, keep it all, keep it all coming to, it makes the show, man. It makes the show, makes us better, and it makes it, makes the chat that much livelier for everybody that's in there, man. So y'all keep doing your thing.
Yeah, facts. And don't let it stop during the show as well. Like anybody that's watching the replay or even after the show, if there was a comment that during the chat or during the show that we didn't get to, or anybody watching the replay, leave a comment either on my channel or Severe's channel. Leave a comment and let us know your thoughts on the conversation, the Raiders, the game, a player, anything that you disagree with. Let us know if there's anything that you feel like there's something wrong. Let us know, man, and we definitely get to the comments. We read them.
Yes.
So we appreciate everything that you guys do as far as supporting the show. But make sure to leave a comment too as well. We don't want y'all to forget about that as well. It's not just the chat, because there's so many people in the chat I didn't even get to, man. It was like y'all was going crazy, man. So we appreciate it. Yep.
And if y'all really got something to say, man, just call Pharaoh directly, man. His number is 555.
Oh man, hey, Severe got jokes, man.
It's like, hello, Pharaoh, is it you? I told you AOC is that guy.
No, that was funny, man. But hey, look, hey, it's been real, man. Hey, like I said, we appreciate the support. Man, I think that's pretty much it, man. That's all we got for today, man. Look, we gonna be back here 50-50 show next week, but also be on the lookout for Around the Shield Saturday morning. We dropped that, so we appreciate the support. Let's see, Huey P, man, I think he's gonna take us out right now. Alec, he says, Raider Nation, salute panel. Great show, fellas, man. We appreciate it. Raider Smoke, man, coming through in the clutch, man. Hey, come through, man. Hey, if you can get to LA, man, come through, man.
It's bro, holla at us, man.
It's gonna be a Raider Nation affair in LA, man. You know that's gonna be the ultimate Raider Nation home game. So if you can get there, cool. If not, it's cool as well. We're gonna be going some games this year, so make sure to let us know, man. But we appreciate the support. We out of here, man. We appreciate it. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.